Good morning, Intenders.
Good morning.
Welcome and welcome back to Morning Intentions. Today is Tuesday, June 16th. We're continuing our month of curiosity in the art of enjoying life, focusing on the art of enjoying life part this week. Annette, our curiosity question from yesterday: what do you wish your younger self would have known about the art of enjoying life? I answered the question on the podcast yesterday, and as a reminder, my two answers, my top two, were to be authentic just for yourself and to be hopeful, even when things look dreary or bleak or not what you want them to be. My worst fears didn't come true, so what were you so worried about? Finding that hope in my heart rather than waiting for the outside circumstances to be what I think they should be. Now, Annette, did you consider the question? Did you come up with anything you wish your younger self would have known about the art of enjoying life?
I knew as soon as we made our intention yesterday.
Really, just like that. Snap
Just
of the
like that, I
fingers,
knew.
you know.
Okay, so for a few years, a number of our clients would recommend a certain book to us. And I thought, okay, that kind of sounds like a catchy title, but sometimes catchy titles don't really equate to something that interests me or that I find too valuable. So I think, okay. And then the next person would come in as, oh, have you read this book? And I would think, oh gosh, here it is. This book is now coming into my attention again. So finally I read the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. And it's really the real word. That book is my answer to your question. I gave way too many F's about way too many things, about too many people, about how I was being perceived, about whether so-and-so liked me or didn't like me. I gave too many F's, and I don't give F's anymore. And this is the happiest I've been.
Well, the gist of the book, because it's more than just don't give an F, it's don't waste your F's on meaningless stuff so you can give your F's to what you truly care about.
And don't give your F's to people that will never be able to be pleased, that will always be criticizing you, that will always be thinking you're doing something wrong, that'll call you names. Don't give your F's to them.
You got to be pretty stingy with your F's.
You have to be very stingy with your F's. Remember, a number of months ago, you taught us all about each morning we wake up and we have a certain amount of currency. Do we want to spend this currency?
You have a certain amount of F's per day.
Yes, it's the same thing. Your F's are your currency in my analogy here. So do I want to spend my currency or my F's on certain people? Doesn't mean that they don't have inherent value, but some people aren't worth it. Doesn't mean that they don't have worth, but they're not worth it. There are some situations we keep finding ourselves in over and over and over again. So how many F's do we want to give? How much currency do we want to give? That book by Mark Manson, when I look back at my life, I've had a number of books that I found that book on the right day. And maybe that's why I read it on the day that I did. I had heard about it before and finally I read it. That book changed the trajectory of my life because even though I have been on what I would say the trajectory that the book advocates and helps with, I still had false guilt going on. I still had some things going on. I was like, oh, am I really doing this okay? Is this really okay? And now I just say, yep, it's okay.
And I don't give an F.
Well, but see, this is the thing about that book and what I'm sharing here. My younger self gave too many F's about way too many things and about way too many people. But that doesn't mean that you don't give F's. In fact, I would say now that I understand this concept at the level that I do, and I'm giving myself the freedom to actually live that concept, you actually care more, but it's very strategic. And you don't waste your time on senseless drama or little things. I even use it with Dawn. So Dawn can't hear very well. And it used to irritate me a little bit. Like there was always oh my goodness, do I have to shout? Can't you put your hearing aids in? And then when I read that book, I thought, how many F's am I going to give about his hearing? I don't want to give any F's about his hearing. And since I decided not to give any F's about his hearing, I might remind him, oh, you forgot your hearing aids, Dawn. But it doesn't feel that one way inside. Like I don't get irritated. There's so much freedom that I wish that I could have told my younger self, because I wasted many of my almost 65 years on people that really didn't care. And they kind of showed me from the beginning that they didn't care, but I just kept on going and going and going. Issues that I would try to kind of fit in. I'm going to say this is really personal, but like religion, I tried to fit in to religion. I'm a spiritual person, but I don't fit in at all to organized religion. I just do not. But I tried. I tried and tried and tried and tried and tried. Why did I give so many F's about fitting into some organization? If you find fulfillment in your church or your group, I think it's wonderful. But I had to find what worked for me. But I was always trying to fit into other people's perspective and perception of what I should do or what I should be. And sometimes our life's teachers teach us in a way that could be hurtful, could be whoa, could have gone a whole lifetime without that. But I had a situation about 5 years ago where someone said something to me, had a conversation, and I listened very closely. And I thought, this was a person that I had actually given a lot of myself to. And I listened and I listened. Now, I did not have the words from the book, though, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. I listened and I thought, I will no longer give any more of me to you. Not one more ounce of me will go to you. And I've stayed by that, but I always kind of felt a little like, ugh.
Was that too harsh?
Yeah, but really, no, it wasn't. And then I read that book by Mark Manson. He was so young. I mean, when he wrote the book, I think he was 36 years old. Such wisdom in that book. So took the whole episode to tell you, I would tell my younger self, don't spend so much currency in places that don't respect you, that don't value you, that don't honor you, because you don't have to hustle for your worth. You have all the worth you'll ever have. You don't have to hustle for your worth so that this person over here is going to like you. You don't need to do it, honey. That's what I would tell my younger self.
There's a lot of wisdom in what you're sharing. And I think it's a challenge that we all have where we do spend our emotional bank account really where we're not going to get the return on investment.
And it's not that people, you give love and it's not like you're saying, okay, now I gave you love over here. You better give it to me back. It's not that attitude. And the book is not about that. But the book is make sure that you're honoring you and that your F's matter.
Because if you give your emotional currency or your F's to a boundary destroyer, if you give it to someone who they're not thinking about you, you're not even on their radar, well, then you're just kind of, as my mom would say, just flushing them down the toilet.
Yeah, you're shoving yes, exactly. Exactly. You're wasting it. And many people mistake kindness for weakness. And so they take advantage.
Well, your F's are precious. I think that's what I wish everyone would know. Your Fs are precious, your emotional currency is precious, you are precious, your heart is precious. So don't just give it away freely. Don't give it away just to anybody. Be stingy and check in. If I gave my Fs here, if I gave my emotional currency here, is that really where it should go? Or do I need to save it for something that truly will value the Fs I have to give? So, our intention for today is I will be wise as I spend my emotional currency. I will be wise as I spend my emotional currency. Thank you so much for joining us today. Our day is better because you are part of our day. See you tomorrow.
See you then.